Marcus sat with his back against the cold metal wall, watching the blood drip from his split lip onto the floor. His ribs screamed with every breath, and his left eye had swollen shut an hour ago. Around him, the other prisoners huddled in their own pools of misery, broken toys discarded by their captors. The Krell had taken the human colony without much effort. Why would they struggle? The settlement on Epsilon Ridge had been farmers, teachers, engineers, people who grew corn and built schools, people who had forgotten that the universe was not kind. Chief Warlord Grath entered the detention block with the casual swagger of someone who had never lost. He stood nearly 8 feet tall, his gray-scaled hide marked with ritual scars that proclaimed his victories. Behind him, a dozen Krell warriors filled the corridor, their plasma rifles charged and ready. "Humans," Grath announced, his translator rendering his words in cold, mechanical tones. "Your world is ours now. Your pathetic defense lasted mere hours." Marcus said nothing. He had learned that silence was safer. Grath approached the force field that separated them, his yellow eyes scanning the broken humans like merchandise. "You will serve. You will build. You will die when we decide." He clicked his mandibles in what passed for Krell laughter. "And if you run, if you resist, if you even think of defiance, pray the Vultures get to you first." The threat hung in the air. The Krell were known across 17 systems for their cruelty. Their punishments lasted days. Their tortures were legendary. Being eaten by scavengers would be mercy. "Vultures are too good for you," Grath continued, clearly enjoying himself. "I have seen your kind beg. I have watched your warriors weep. You are soft, weak. You have no fangs, no strength. You are cattle who learned to speak." Marcus felt something stir in his chest. Not rage, not fear. Something colder. "Actually," a voice said from behind Grath, "I always eat first." The warlord spun, and Marcus saw the speaker for the first time. She stood in the shadows of the corridor, just beyond the range of the overhead lights. Human, female, wearing the tattered remains of a colonial defense uniform. Her dark hair was pulled back, and her face was spattered with something that looked disturbingly like blood. But it was her eyes that made Marcus' breath catch. They held no fear, no hesitation, just a terrible, patient hunger. "How did you?" Grath began, then stopped as he noticed his guards. All 12 of them were on the ground, not unconscious, dead. Their throats had been opened with surgical precision, their weapons taken. The woman stepped into the light, and Marcus saw the blade in her hand. It was Krell-made, curved and cruel, still wet. "My name is Rita Kane," she said conversationally, moving forward with the easy grace of a predator. "Former Sergeant, Earth Colonial Marines, 3rd Reconnaissance Division. You killed my unit 6 days ago." Grath reached for his sidearm, but Rita was faster. Her hand snapped out, catching his wrist and twisting. The crack of breaking bone echoed in the corridor. The weapon clattered to the floor. 6 days, Rita continued, her voice never rising above a calm, almost friendly tone. "Do you know what I've been doing for 6 days, Warlord?" She moved behind him, the blade now pressed against his throat. Grath tried to pull away, but she held him with impossible strength. Human strength, enhanced by something the Krell had never bothered to learn about. Adrenaline, spite, and the absolute refusal to die quietly. "I've been hunting," Rita said. "Watching. Learning your patrol patterns. Studying your guard rotations. Waiting for you to get comfortable. Waiting for you to think you'd won. You are one," Grath hissed, his translator crackling with pain. "One human. I have thousands of warriors." "Had," Rita corrected. "You had 60 warriors in this facility. Now you have 47. I've been busy." Marcus watched, transfixed, as Rita reached past Grath and deactivated the force field. The barrier flickered and died. When the Krell invaded Earth 200 years ago, Rita said, her blade still steady, they learned something important. They learned that humans don't have claws or fangs or armored skin. But we have something else. She looked at the prisoners, meeting each of their eyes in turn. We have memory. We hold grudges. We pass down our anger to our children and our children's children. The Krell that invaded Earth are dust now, but we still remember. We built our fleets from that memory. We trained our soldiers on that anger. Grath tried to speak, but Rita pressed the blade harder. The colonial Marines aren't soldiers like you understand soldiers, she continued. We're volunteers. Every single one of us had family on Earth during the invasion. Every single one of us grew up hearing stories about what your kind did to our grandparents. She leaned close to Grath's ear slits. We don't fight for territory. We don't fight for glory. We fight because we remember, and because we want you to understand that humans are the thing that hunts the hunters. With a swift motion, she kicked the back of Grath's knee, driving him to the ground. The warlord, who had conquered 14 worlds, knelt before a single human. Now, Rita said, addressing the prisoners, I need to know. Who here can fight? Marcus raised his hand. So did 3 others. Good. Weapons are in the corridor. We have 47 Krell between us and the landing bay at about 15 minutes before shift change. If we move fast, we can take the transport ship and signal the fleet. What fleet? One of the prisoners asked. Rita smiled, and it was not a kind expression. The 5th battle group. They've been in orbit for 3 days, waiting for my signal. The Krell never detected them. Stealth technology. She glanced down at Grath. Another thing we learned from the invasion. Your sensors can't track our new ships. Marcus stood on shaking legs. How many ships? Enough, Rita said. Enough to make sure the Krell remember Epsilon Ridge. Enough to make sure they understand that when you attack a human colony, you don't get to walk away. She handed Marcus a plasma rifle, then distributed the others among the prisoners who could stand. What about him? Marcus asked, gesturing to Grath. Rita considered the warlord, who glared up at her with undimmed hatred. He said to pray the vultures get to us first, she said. But here's the thing about vultures. They only eat the dead. They wait until the predators are finished. She pulled a small device from her belt and tossed it to Grath. It clattered on the floor beside him. That's a distress beacon. When we leave, it'll activate. Your warriors will find you. Eventually. But first, they'll have to get past the Marines who are about to drop on this facility. Rita turned to the prisoners. Let's move. They ran through the corridors, past the bodies of Krell warriors who had never seen Rita coming. They fought through the remaining guards with desperate, righteous fury. And when they reached the landing bay, the transport ship was waiting, just as Rita had promised. As they lifted off, Marcus watched through the viewport as the sky above Epsilon Ridge filled with ships. Human ships. Dozens of them, descending like avenging angels, their weapons already firing. Rita stood beside him, her expression calm. You're going to win, Marcus said. It wasn't a question. We already won, Rita replied. The moment Grath decided humans were weak. The moment he forgot that predators aren't defined by claws or fangs. She looked at him. We're defined by what we do when someone threatens our pack. Below them, the Krell facility erupted in flames. The battle had begun. And across the galaxy, in 100 different systems, other human fleets received the same signal. The Krell had attacked Epsilon Ridge. Now they would learn what humanity remembered. Now they would learn why, in the old Earth stories, the most dangerous thing in the forest was never the wolf or the bear. It was the human with a grudge and a long memory. I always eat first, Ritter repeated, watching the destruction below. That's what I told him. Because vultures wait for the kill to be finished. She smiled. And we're not done yet. The transport climbed higher, joining the fleet, becoming part of something larger. Something inevitable. Something the Krell would remember for generations. If any of them survived to remember at all.